What's good, YouTube? Runicks YGO here, back with an updated deck profile with none other than my favorite Runick and probably the strongest Runick variant, Spright Runick. Personally think it's the best deck just because in terms of Runick combo, it's the only deck that can play through hand trap fairly, and if one engine fails, the other one still can be played through. I just want to do a quick updated deck profile and just show you replays just to show the deck is still kicking, and because of the new ban list, we have some Spright cards that were unbanned. So let's get to the deck profile. So this is the deck profile, 41 cards, 15 extra deck cards. I'd like to start off by just showing off the hand traps, as they're probably the least entertaining in the deck. So we only play about 10 hand traps, unfortunately, or board breakers, however you like to put it. So we play the 2 maxis. This is just very staple. You have to play 2. We're playing the 3 Ash Blossoms. The reason you have to play 3 is because you have to counter Maxi and Fuvalos and any monsters that search or spell cards. We're playing 2 Mulcharmy Fuvalos for many reasons. 1, we don't have a normal summon. 2, we need to give ourselves a better chance to go second. And 3, Mulcharmy Fuvalos is easy discard fodder with Runick. So typically, Fuvalos is a very good addition to the deck. Easily a good card to stop players who go first, and hopes to draw Nibiru. Nib is pretty much important here because we don't have any outs except Fountain being on the field just in case. But yeah, this is typically the reason why you play those hand traps. The other ones are gonna just be called by the grave, and yeah, that's about it. That's all the hand traps in the deck. Not that eventful, but you have to play these cards. These are pretty much staples in all meta decks. Showing off the Spright engine, we're playing the Nimble package. Typically, these 3 cards you don't want to see in your opening hand, but just because you open it doesn't mean it can't be useful. It could still be used as a normal summon, and you could still get an extra body with Beaver. Typically, you do want to open those with Sprint. Sprint is your extender and one of your quote-unquote boss monsters too, because you can bounce cards back to the hand or extra deck. Sprint will basically send Angler. Angler will then get the 2 Nimble Beavers into your field, thinning out your deck, drawing more resourceful cards. But that's the Nimble engine here. The Hyperia for your draw engine. The whole bread and butter of the deck is Spright Elf. You really want to have this out in the field, protecting the cards that it points to, and constantly with the grind game, every turn, you want to open up a Spright Elf and level 2. The next card is we play 3 blues. This is your starter, this is your extender, this is your bread and butter to go full combo. Spright to get 3 jets. Jets will eventually end up getting you 1 carrot or 1 red. It's possible to get both at the same time depending on your hand. But yes, 1 red for the negate and 1 carrot for the back row negate. That's all the sprites that you need. Eventually, it's going to end up being 3 Spright starters. And that is all your Spright engine for the main deck. Now going into the Runick engine, it's real quick. Nothing's changed in terms of Runicks. You always almost religiously need to play it this way in terms of consistency. So 1 Runick Fountain. Someday I hope it'll get unbanned, but or semi-limited. But 1 Runick Fountain. You have to play the 2 tips. This is your searcher for any Runick card that you need based off the situation. 3 Flashing Fire. This is destroy a special summon monster. 1 Destruction, 1 back row removal. Freezing Curses, 2 of those, which will negate a monster. Slumber to use an excuse to save your monsters from getting destroyed / banishing cards to draw more. And lastly, the combination of Smiting Storm, Droplet, and Dispelling. You typically have to either play a copy of each of these or a 2-1-2 ratio to basically be able to have the maximized consistency for Runick. So that is the deck. 41 cards. You can play 42 if you want, but 42 is the max in my opinion for consistency. Maybe playing more hand traps, 1 more Nimble Beaver, 1 more Runick card. It really all depends on your playstyle. Play it as you will, but this is essentially the new updated Spright Runick main deck. Jumping into the extra deck has not changed so much since the previous update playing Runick Spright. But we're playing 3 Hugins. You just have to, because typically you will go into 1 or 2 for a body or 2 to link or XYZ summon as fodder, and the third one is gonna be for protection. The one Gary, your only emergency if your fountain ever gets destroyed. 1 Sleipnir, which is for the grind game. You'll typically go into this middle of the game, stall the game out, and you have fountain up typically, and you're just negating with elf or so. Typically is how you use Runick Sleipnir. Playing 2 gigantic sprites. This is also the bread and butter. This is your extender. This is your starter. This is your possible boss monster too, because you want to use its second material for bouncing Bright Sprint and detaching with it. Play 2 of these. Now, the other very important card, you use IP Masquerena. IP is very used and abused here to go into SP Little Knight or Underworld Goddess. So IP is really strong because you can easily abuse this with the next card, Elf. Elf is the true bread and butter of the deck. You basically have to always go to this for the grind game with Fountain. That's the game plan. Every summon, you're summoning either Hyperia or a body for a spell or trap, or monster negate, or possibly IP or Little Knight. Any link 2s, level 2s, anything like that. The 1 Spright Sprint, your extender / boss monster, can bounce cards, but typically you'll use this to extend with a Nimble Beaver engine. 2 Little Knights, you have to play 2. It's important because you will probably go into the second one to banish a card on the field or graveyard, and then just keep trying to spam it with Elf. So don't be afraid to use 2. 1 Promethean Princess. This is very situational, cuttable, but it's very useful for the grind game. If both elves are already in the graveyard, this is your lifeline to bring it back, and then that's another body with elf to get another fire monster. We do have fire monster targets being Ash and Carrot and Red, so that is Princess right there. And lastly, Underworld Goddess. Underworld Goddess can easily be go into because of IP and just the number of bodies you can easily have on the field, and using your opponent's linked monster. This is your quote-unquote boss monster that you go into as a last resort as you're trying to control the game with Elf. This is the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's very consistent. Going first, you 99% of the time have a play. Going second is where it gets difficult. Playing through all the interruptions or end board that your opponent may have may be too much for this deck. But this deck can easily eat through hand traps. Showing my recordings and replays, they're really quick games, honestly. Not many grind games, unfortunately, just because they either quit or it's just the grind game's just not worth it. It's better to just go next. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's go into replays right now. Thank you so much. For the first game, we are fighting against our favorite deck that we've been playing recently, Yubel. Yubel Fiendsmith has been so fun to play that playing against it is the reason why I am sharing it. Fun grind game in this replay. Our hand is very good. Getting Max Seed or Fuvelos would be the end, but we have full combo. All you really need is Runick card plus 1 level 2. You can easily make this board go into full combo and just get everything you need. Starting off main phase 1, we open up with Fountain. Fountain will get us a level 2. We use Beaver to get the second Beaver. Going into Gigantic Spright. Gigantic Spright opens up our plays with getting Blue. Blue gets Jet. Jet gets a Starter. Starter gets us Red or Carrot. In this case, we get Red. Going into Elf. Elf will get us Beaver. We just needed anybody. Going into IP Masquerena. Now, we could have just ended here, but we wanted to get a draw off. So we link into Spright Sprint, sending Hyperia. Now, we do this because our goal is to just try to go into Hyperia and hopefully get a good draw. But based off what our opponent does, the whole point of this deck is to trade resources with your opponent. It's very important to out-resource your opponent by trading certain cards, one card for one card, basically. And you'll eventually win based off the interruptions and the resources of drawing this card can, this deck can provide. Our opponent goes, they open up with Engraver trying to bait us. However, we don't take the bait. Why? We want to use Max C and try to get value off Fabled Blurry for the free draw. Now, unfortunately, it does not go that way. They call by the grave, negating it, and then proceeding to go into going into Fiendsmith, but unfortunately here we get snow rabbited here. This is not a good thing because at this point we either have to negate this or we're gonna lose Elf. So we have to negate by sending a friend, winning the chain, trading, getting IP, and at the same time using the effect. We're trying to shut off, thinking this is Fiendsmith Control, we're trying to shut off the Engraver by using IP. Destroying it so they can't blink away, going into SP Little Knight, and getting two good draws, and banishing. Unfortunately, we get bad draws here. Not cards that we want. But it works out, because they use Dark Beckoning Beast, their starter, to get opening of the Spirit Gates. However, banishing the two with Little Knight makes it very difficult for them, because now they can no longer extend. Because they use their normal summon, we turned off their Fiendsmith engine, and they have to pass turn, which is better for us. We draw the best card. First, we use Smiting Storm to banish 2, then we get tipped to get Destruction. Banishing all these cards, Yubel, Nightmare Pain, Super Poly, real good. Destroying, just banishing even more, we get their Extender Gruesome, and at that point, we draw 3. I think that's pretty demoralizing. Another tip, which is just so good. We normal summon Fuvalos because we don't really need Fuvalos. It's a free normal summon. We don't normal summon in this deck. So we draw with Hyperia, we go into Gigantic Spright, trying to go into blue again. And at that point, they quit knowing there was too much out-resource them with. Now, for this duel, we go first, and we are playing the best deck in the game currently. Well, we'll see with the new ban list. Snake-Eyes Fiendsmith. Now, we go first, and our hand is an example of no Runick cards. This is straight Spright cards. And doing this, we want to bait here, because we have Spright starter. That's our bread and butter. So our opponent Effect Veiler's Beaver, which is fine, because we could call by the grave, but we respect the fact that they might have Maxi, Mulch Armies, or anything like that. Because we already have starter, it's not worth it, so let's just get blue. Blue gets Jet. Typical thing, Jet gets starter, and starter... Well, we'll go for Gigantic first. We're hoping to get a good draw here, because we could have went for either Spright, red, or blue, but we'll do that next turn because of this quick play. We'll play it on draw phase. That was my mindset back then, because then we get a good draw. We go into Runick Hugin, and we have discard fodder. We could discard Mulcharm Fuvalos, but no, we discard Angler because Angler is an extender, extending to 1 Beaver, because we already had 1 Beaver in the graveyard. Going into Elf here, linking the Super IP Masquerena, setting 1 card, 2 cards, having an extra body. So for this end phase, it's not much, to be honest, but we only have 2 banishes with IP to SP, Spright starter for a monster negate, and possible draws. So that's honestly 3. Typically, you need 5 interruptions to be, in my opinion, a formidable board. But unfortunately, this is not formidable. But we can show how we can still out-resource our opponent. Our opponent tries to Mulcharmy Fuvalos starter. However, we called by the grave it here on chain 3. The reason this is important is because, as I said, the game plan is to out-resource and trade your opponent 1 for 1, basically, and we'll eventually outgrind, outpace, and eventually beat our opponent. We don't want them to draw, so that's one more resource we need to deal with. Our opponent tries to Seng Engine, so we don't want them to start, so we just negate it from their hand. Opponent's normal summon is the strongest card in the game, Ash, so we just try to grab a body to draw in hopes to get something good as to get Poplar and summon Poplar, and at the same time we IP Masquerena. Arguably, you could say I did it too early to get SP because they could easily still get Ash back. So this could be foolish, but showing you how we outgrind our opponent, not a good draw here. We banish Ash. They proceed to get OSS. Link into Link Karibo. Getting Poplar down there for a fodder for OSS. Oak gets back their banished card. Now, at this point, I knew they need an extra body to go into something. So, banishing Oak and Elf to go into Ash. Ash sends Karibo into Flamber's Dragon. Flamber's Dragon gets them my IP. Battle phase, attacking my red. Ending turn here. But we are out-resourcing them by the spammable level 2 that we have. So we Elf to get Hyperion and hope to get something good to draw. Unfortunately, terrible draw. We were pretty upset on-stream. Linking the 4. This is how you use Goddess here, because we don't want them to send Snake-Eyes Flambers. So linking away our IP is the best thing they can do because they already use the effect to send it to the back row and they can no longer special summon anything. In addition, negated everything. Normal summon and special summon Carrot going into the second Little Knight. This is why you need 2 Little Knights, because going into the second one is to get rid of their boss monster. Ending turn, they don't have a hand. Their boss monster is vanished. There's not much they can do now. Now they try to Seng Engine. We just negate that. Sending Little Knight. I know they can't go over our bodies, so at that point we negate that, and now we have a monster negate with the grind game with Elf. It is good. We destroy it. They don't have much left. They're trying to send Oak, and we negate that, so they lose another resource. Little by little, we're chipping them away. That's why this deck is so good. They normal summon Lacrima. We negate that by destroying it. And at that point, it's all said and done. We draw Freezing Curses. We go battle phase, attack. And they're at match point. We go back into Elf. Elf gets us Hyperia, trying to effect Veiler. We want that draw, even though they don't have a hand at this point and they lost their boss monster. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. That was probably the longest in terms of grind game. I love it. So for this duel, we are finally going second against Blue Eyes. And I didn't really like our hand going second. Ash Blossom just by itself, a low impact hand trap, unfortunately is not enough nowadays in Yu-Gi-Oh! Standard. We negate their starter. They go into Spirited with Blue Eyes. Getting there. Field Spell dumping Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes getting special summon. Miraculously, they end here. With this, we actually have a fighting chance. So, on main phase 1, we Droplet for Hugin. We are trying to just bait. The mindset here is if one engine fails, you can rely on the other engine. Typically, it's going to be Hugin to go for the negate. And look, they ate the negate and get Dominus Purge. Getting that negated, we Spright starter, trying to get that negated, and thankfully it works out as well, because we already have blue. Because we were trying to get insulated with carrot or red. This gets us Jet Starter. Jet Starter gets us Spright. Link the 2 for Gigantic Spright. Gigantic Spright for Carrot. Now, the reason we go for Carrot here is because I believe they don't have any more monster effects on the field or in hand, so it has to be that back row. So Carrot was my choice. We go for another Hugin. We can't use starter, so we just discard it, and they just quit there. Maybe their hand was not enough, but we were just gonna just use Elf and just negate. Another going second, and we're playing again Blue Eyes. Our hand looks fine. We have full combo, and I like our hand traps here. The opponent miraculously just sets 2 cards, so haha, they brick. So on standby phase, we summon Hugin. Now, mindset, you could discard Fuvelos or Nib. I choose to discard Nib because we could just normal summon this and then special summon Jet. So we are having more bodies and being efficient with our hand economy. Discarding Nib, we get Imperm. So, main phase 1, we get Jet for starter, Jet for blue for red or carrot. In this case, we're gonna get carrot because of that set card. I'm scared of it. Go to Gigantic. Gigantic to get nothing because it's about to die, but we use Flashing Fire to negate it, and they quit there. I think they knew they would get out resources. So game going first, we're fighting Bestials or Dragon Link. It is a difficult one to play because we get a lot of our stuff banished. So on the draw phase, we summon Hugin. We have a discard spotter with Fuvelos. We send. Now the mindset here is because we want to save Tip. Typically, Tip is gonna be used first to get what we want, but we're worried about things. So we get Fountain this way because if it gets negated, we use Tip. But since it goes through, we could actually just draw and find out what we're playing against by getting Slumber, banishing 3, and we saw Bestial Lubellion and Safer. Drawing 3, amazing, another Tip, going into blue, getting Jet for Spright starter, linking into Gigantic to not get Nib proof. They effect Veiler here. Not that bad, but unfortunately we just go into Elf. Elf gets us a body, and it gets Bestial Magna Hunt. So this is not where it doesn't get good. We negate it with Ash, and we set 1. Banish another card. Not doing well. This is where the Spright is failing us, and we need Fountain to carry us. So we summon red. Opponent does use another Druid's Worm. I try to summon, and they chain again with another Bestial Baldray. Missing all our timings. I said they're gonna summon twice. You know what? Let's just maxi here. Get 2 cards. Banish the 2, I get a maxi. Not bad. And then they go into M7. At that point, we use Flashing Fire. Knowing that even if they kept trying to attack, I'm drawing 3 cards, and they're gonna have to go through that grind game. Okay, so going first, this is the last game we're playing against Mermails. And I am actually kind of confused. That's why I made this the last game. I thought I was cooked here. So we go on draw phase trying to bait. I know we have Tip, but we have discard fodder with Multarmies. And we indeed do get Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom getting chained with Runick Tip to end up still getting Fountain. Still have full combo with red. We red going into Gigantic. We all know this. Gigantic for nothing. I was surprised here. So our Gigantic Spright or Spright engine is not going through right now. So it's all up to Max C to really save us and draw Runick cards or hand traps. The opponent's going. They're adding special summoning cards. We draw a pretty good find card. Flashing Fire. They're trying to add cards to their hand. And at this point, I just said to myself, let me just pop something and try to draw something good. With 3 cards, they tried to destroy it, and I chained. I'm confused here because they destroyed Fountain. I know we get 3 cards, but I wouldn't be able to use any more Runick cards. So them quitting Maybe they brick? We'll never know. So the first game, we go first. And since we go first, we're fighting against Labyrinth. This is the first game of the series. And first thing we do, we draw phase. The reason we draw phase here, your mindset is you want to bait with Runick so you get full combo with Spright. Because Runick is a quick, easy magnet to get hand traps. So we check for hand traps here on the draw phase. We do it in draw phase because you don't want to get Drolan locked. So we discard Nibiru. The reason we discard Nibiru is we're probably not going to use it. We don't want to clear our board. So we get Runick Fountain for free. Main phase 1. We play Fountain. We play Hyperion to try to bait again just to see if they have anything. Which, since we see now, they do not have anything. But yes, then we tip. We tip for Slumber because we just want to draw from this. We already have full combo with Jet already, mind you, but we're just doing that to mill at this point. We get a pretty good simultaneous equation. Do this to draw 3. Get this for Spright Starter. Blue to get red or carrot, but opponent uses this effect to try to set one card face down. That's kind of a misplay in my part because I'm gonna try to just SP Little Knight it later because they cannot play it on my turn anyways. So we get carrot just in case they can use something, a spell or trap, either way. But we have red on the field. We go, or in our hand, we go into Spright. Spright to discard for the second copy. Going into Elf. Summoning the 2, going into IP Masquerena. Little Knight. Little Knight banishing. Elf to get red. And we end phase here. So we could have easily went into Sprint, but we wanted to get rid of the set card and show a full combo. But this was a situational since they already had a card on the field. But here we have 1 banishment. Elf to summon a carrot to get a spell and trap negate. Monster negate with red. And then flashing fire and dispelling. Making that, and plus draw, making that 8 interruptions. Or 7, not including draws. Opponent goes, they normal summon a Dogmatica. So we're just gonna go into Masquerena. We get Masquerena instead here because I was worried they were gonna try to attack over us or so. But instead, when they saw them do this, I knew it was almost over. Just because they can't summon anymore. So we destroy that. And we just draw 1. We keep the dispelling, that's why. Just in case. We go. We elf to get carrot. And they surrender. Knowing that we'd still out-resource them. And just play the grind game with the slumber. And just keep drawing. They wanted to go next. So for this duel, it's game 2 now. We're in match point. Our opponent uses Ariana. Setting for Labyrinth. Step 2 and pass. It's our turn. And what we do first, in my mind, I want to bait them. That's why we use Nimble Beaver. Because I'm worried about what they have in store for us. So we try to Spright. And we chain here to try to get carrot to try to negate a spell or trap. And now since we have bodies on the field, we try to special summon Hugin. But since they dimensional barrier, they kind of just surrendered real fast. But I think they knew that I already had too many things on board that they wouldn't be able to continue a play. That was a quick duel. And we go next. We go to the next round. So for this duel, we're fighting Ryu Gee. And this was actually my first time fighting against Ryu Gee. I didn't know much about how the deck works. Just because I'm not that experienced. But opponent goes. One thing I didn't know was that how this card works to negate a opponent's card in response to a Ryu Gee's spell card or effect. Very interesting there. Pretty strong. Opponent's just doing Ryu Gee things that I was learning upon streaming.
So they're destroying, and we tried to summon here, or at least max seed here, but it gets negated by Ryu Gee. That was our only interruption there. Fortunately, it did not go through. I should have just played on draw phase, but I didn't know we were playing again. So opponent just Varudris, playing Ryu Gee Realm, Ryu Gee Worm, or Wormwind. So we are full gas here, but we can't really do much with their layered interruption. So we try to get Hyugen to try to bait. Trying to bait by discarding. Hopefully they take the bait, and they do negate the activation. So that's okay, because we have Tip. On main phase, we use Tip to get Runick Fountain as if nothing happens. Trying to show them that we're not a Spright deck. Hopefully they will go for the Runick card. So seeing this happen, they Varudris us. And detach twice, I believe, to destroy. And Fountain getting sent. At this point, this is our play left. With Jet. Jet to get a Spright starter. Spright starter to get Blue. Blue to get Carrot, trying to negate something just in case. But at this point, they use the trap card effect to destroy. Yeah, pretty strong layered interaction with Ryu Gee. They get their ritual card, and they destroy all my cards in the field. And I use my normal summon, and that's all I could do. Very quick game. They destroyed me. Pretty good on their part. They just battle phase attack, and that was it. On to the next round. Now for this duel, we're going first. And yeah, we have a pretty strong hand going first. We have full combo. Full combo is typically at least 3 bodies to go full combo. 3 level 2 bodies. So we draw phase Hyugen just in case they have a negate or something to discard Flashing Fire. Because now that we know we're fighting Ryu Gee, the reason we do Flashing Fire is because Destruction is going to be too valuable here. So we Fountain here. Special summon Carrot to go into Gigantic. Gigantic for Blue. Blue for Jet. Jet for Spright Starter. Spright Starter to get Carrot. Summon the second Hyugen to have an extra body. To go and draw 3 cards. Pretty good draw. We normal summon Hyperia. We're set here. So we play Fountain, link the 2 for Sprin. Sprin to get Angler in the grave. Angler to get us the 2 Nimble Beavers. Going into IP. Elf to get us red. And setting Called by the Grave. For this, we have 1 monster to gate, Sprin Bounce, IP to SP for 2 banishes, 2 hand traps, and 1 rip a card plus 2 draws. So that's 7 to 8 interruption. Layers of interruption there. So our opponent goes. Main phase, they try to use Divine Herald. So our goal, we wanted to save Ash just in case they did something. But unfortunately, they droplet us. Which is our worst nightmare other than board breakers. So this is technically a board breaker. So unfortunately, they negate the 3. We lost half our interruptions already. They try to use Herald of Light to add a ritual. So we Call by the Grave that. Then we Elf to get Carrot just in case they have a spell or trap they can use on us. Mind you, we can still Dispelling and Ash Blossom rip a card from their hands. At that point, they surrendered, going to the 3rd game. So, going in this hand, I thought things could look good with Nib. Hopefully they would summon more. Knowing how Ryu Gee sort of works now, they can basically disrupt you by destroying cards in your hand and bouncing cards. So I thought maybe they'll summon a lot. But unfortunately, they have insulation here, so good for them. So I couldn't even do anything. And they're just drawing like crazy. And now they have a Rudris, and they didn't even go up to 5 summons, so feels bad. So here, we try to main phase 1 to just already try to get the negate off of Rudris. This is where I misplay though. I totally forgot about Rudris' second effect to detach. So we misplay by losing our Spright Blue. So checking what they do, they special summon. We summon Blue. They negate and destroy. So we misplayed there. Our only play now is just to summon Hugin, discarding Nib, and then having Jet. But they already have all their outs, so good for them. They get Spright Starter, Link the 2, or XYZ the 2 for Sprint, just to get bounced back, and that was all said and done. That is it. We couldn't do anything. Opponent just summons big bodies and still destroys us. Pretty close, but they broke our board. And that marks the end of our tournament run, making 33rd place. So I hope you guys enjoyed that quick replays with Spright Runick. The deck has changed in terms of consistency, but overall the game plan has not really changed. And is it a good deck? Yeah, it's competitive worthy. It's not a meta deck, but it can definitely get you to high elo, diamond at least. It is, in my opinion, the strongest Runick variant because they're very independent, the engines between the two. And because of that, that's why they could play without each other. Obviously, harmoniously speaking, it would be better, ideal, but not all the time can they do that. Like Bestial Runick, for example, is a little bit too slow. Can't rely on Bestials to get you there because at this point we have Fiendsmith Control. That is a lot more efficient. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. We're still playing Runick variants here, Runick combos, no stun here. But yes, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care.